Today is another topping day with the Sammy and the FPM front mounted topper. Now, before we've done some light work with it, we've obviously done a Machining Nation video with it as well, but today we're going a little bit tougher because we've got our more sort of awkward field to do where the sheep have been, but there's some bramble and some rushes down the bottom of that one. But then over here, we've got our rush field and we're going to attempt some of that today with this one. Now, last time we cut the rush field, we had a McConnell topper on the front of a Fendt 724, so 240 horsepower. Today we've only got 110. So it's going to be interesting to see if this can actually handle that tougher stuff. I think the topper will be fine, it's whether the tractor can actually power it. So that's what we're doing. So first of all, we're going to go and top off where the lambs have just come out of, and we'll then move on to the rushes as well. So yeah, very excited to see what this can do and what it can achieve. So, and also the bottom bit of the other field where we've got to go first is, should we say, or could be a little bit dodgy, because there's a few awkward bits and there's a bit of a bit where I want to just push it a little bit further in the bottom, where hopefully it's dried out now because we've had some nice dry weather. Anyway, while I'm doing that, the kiddies are here and Mum pruning their lambs.
Got the sheep.
So we've got
the North Devon show and the Exford show.
Yeah, so Max and Molly are going to be at North Devon show and Exford show showing their lambs. Max has got his ram lamb, Suffolk ram lamb, which he...
Yes, put in the comments how much you think he weighs.
How much do you think he weighs?
We weighed him this morning.
Yeah. And then Molly's got a pickle she's going to do the young handlers with. So they've started pruning them and preening them. They're already fairly well halter trained, to be quite honest, but they've got to get them, try and get them clean now in the next few weeks, ready for the shows. All right, so what have we got here then, Maxie?
We just got the grass field where the lambs have come out, they've moved over to that one.
So you've seen me in the previous topping video, topping that field out there. You can see the heavers already come back up again, the seed heads, but that's just because it's been so dry. But they've now got grass out there because they've pretty much demolished this field here, Max, haven't they? Yeah. This is where his creep feeders were. So they weren't just on grass, they were on creep as well. Just going to move these feeders out here in a minute. But they've decimated any goodness out of here now, that's for sure.
There's also quite a few thistles.
There's a lot of thistles. I've got to say, topping that one over there has sort of eradicated a lot of the weed there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hasn't killed it by any means, but we haven't sprayed any of this out here. But yeah, there's a lot of thistles out here. And then that corner down there as well, to try and get in there a little bit in a minute. So that could be a bit dodgy, but...
There's a tree down there.
A tree?
Left.
Left?
There, little bush.
Oh, there's a little willow there, look. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm not going into that bit, well, too much of that bit. I just want to get in beside the fence line over there if I can, where Josh got stuck with a Izeki brush mower back earlier in the year when it was wet, so hopefully I can do a bit more with it now. Anyway, get all this topped off, yeah?
Yep.
You gonna do some drone work, Monk?
Yep. Get
Cool.
the drone out.
Max, get the drone up. He's also already put the 360 camera on front of the bonnet, because Max looks after our Instagram, so if you see anything on Instagram, Max does most of that. He's got a 360 camera up there, so hopefully he'll get some good shots from that today, something a little bit different perhaps. And yeah, Sammy is here, ready to rock and roll. Fence is down, let's go.
The topper's eating away well.
seem to be getting on alright, to be fair. Going okay. Hopefully Max is getting some good drone shots for you, but it is raining, so always seems to be the case. As soon as you want to get a drone out, then it starts raining. Now this top has got what we call the whale tail flails. I think that's actually a McConnell like name for them, but anyway, that's what I call them. Now I'd say on seed heads, probably not the best flail. You probably want some sort of Y flail to sort of chop that, because it's trying to dig in underneath. But obviously, being that the seed heads are so coarse and far apart, you don't end up with a real clean cut on that. On the grass and the thick stuff, and the bramble down the bottom, that has done a fantastic job. I could almost do with for more grass jobs, you could do with a Y flail, I'd say. But that's why they've got different types of flails to do different types of jobs. So yeah, but no, we're doing okay. But it is absolutely pouring of rain down here now. So down on the slope down there, I go to steer. I've got to lift my topper a little bit because it wants to go straight, because the grass has suddenly got a bit greasy. But it's all right, all manageable. But yeah, so you might be saying that, you know, oh my God, James, you're cutting all those brambles down. What about the wildlife? Now, I love leaving areas for wildlife. Below us, we've got 200 acres of woods. Unfortunately, not ours. Wish they were. But that bottom corner of that field, I generally leave untouched. But the sheep have been going down there into the brambles and getting stuck because of this hot weather. They go down below the fence during sort of midday. They come under here, under the fence, to be able to get into a bit of shade. And they're making a bit of a mess of it down here. So I'm just going to cut like 40 foot, 50 foot of this stuff here up against the fence, so they can get under there a bit easier. They got a bit more shade. And then where I cut the brambles is where they're going in sort of in the afternoon to get away from the afternoon sun. But the trouble with that is that they are getting stuck in the brambles. So for the sheepies, you know, livelihood, I thought we'd better cut that down a bit to be able to get them to get in there. So I'm not cutting all of this up through here on the left hand side that you can see now. I don't know if you can see through the rain, but I suppose I've got a windscreen wiper. Oh, there we go, look at that. And then that will, on here on the left, plenty of wildlife area there for them to do whatever they've got to do in that bit. And then over the end, just against that hedge line, is to cut that back a little bit so they don't get stuck in there in the afternoon sun. And hopefully that will solve all of our issues. Oh, bugger. Yeah, because at some point we do want to sort out that hedge line as well and put a fence up through there. Whether we extend it into the field or plant a few more trees to extend the wood, I don't know, but we've got to get on top of those brambles first, because they just, once they get going, they're a bugger to stop. So Max just crashed the drone. Should have hopefully got that on camera. There we go. This ignition's still playing up on this tractor. Get Mike to strip that and have a look. It might just have been loosening behind, or it's as a whole just new barrel. But it's a nice simple system on this, so it's not like the modern stuff, which is probably a lot more technical. Fire up the flail again. Up the rev, and we're away. We are going. Getting to the short work now. Well, it's a bit of a triangle here, so it's pretty much once you've done about 8 strips around the outside, it's all short work, so great. So there we are, that is that all topped. High five to the cameraman. Boom. Let's have a look and I'll show you what I mean about the heaver with those flail blades. So I've done 2 stripes up through here. So that one I've done both ways. So you can see it's cut all of the seed heads off a little bit better. But with the whale tail flails, you'll see what it'll do. It'll drive over and then
it like knocks them at an angle.
Yeah, knocks them at an angle and just sort of rips them out rather than sort of cuts them. That's where I think a Y flail would be a lot better for grass. But as a, you know, all-purpose flail, if you want to be cutting stuff like this,
rushes,
and stuff
brambles.
like that down there that we've done.
So it did an amazing job on the few rushes at the bottom and the brambles.
Oh, perfect, mate, didn't it? Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I've cut up through there all the way down to the deer fence, and then I've left from there all the way through to there for wildlife purposes, nature purposes and all that jazz. Keep all those people happy. Not that I don't want to do that, but I'd love to reclaim that ground at some point, but we'll leave it for nature for now. So we may at some point cut all that down just because we need to control those brambles again. Otherwise it just becomes unusable. So now I've come up through here. Now Max has done he filmed the vertical on this for Instagram, haven't you? Where I've come up all the way through here just to keep that back. Actually missed a rush there. Look, how did I do that? Oh well. But yeah, so that's all. Well, it's topped off lovely, Max, isn't it?
Yeah.
Looks proper. All the rest of the field, it's looking great now. All right, Max being the clever bean he is, he's found an angle app on his phone. So
About 20.
20.
Yeah.
19, 20 degrees. So yeah, really good. Now I was going to obviously cut the other rush field in this video. I think this video has probably gone on for long enough, I guess. So we'll save that for another video because you want to get on with some other stuff in the workshop, Maxie, don't you?
Yeah, put my spike back together.
Yes, yeah, because this has sort of been filmed in between 2 videos. So yeah, anyway, let us know in the comments what you think. Any questions, whatever you've got, let us know. What's the weather like with you? Because it was raining, now we've got blue sky.
Remember to put in the comments how much you think Gerald weighs.
Oh yeah, how much does Max's ram lamb weigh? Also, what are you going to beg people to do, Max?
Subscribe and go and follow the Find It Fix It Farmer Instagram page.
Yeah, there we go. Haven't done that for a while, so we thought we'd do it. Anyway, thank you very much. Cheers, bye.
Bye.